I'll just share a few thoughts of mine, and my thoughts will center on the confluence of faith and business. Where does faith meet business? Again, we can't take faith out of the conversation because, like I said, this is a Christian business fellowship, right? So it is important for me to begin with the understanding that God desires prosperity for all his people. So whether you are a minister of the gospel and you are in ministry, or you are in business, or you are in a professional career. However, many have yet to fully embrace this truth. Some believe that God's blessings are reserved primarily for ministers of the gospel. Right? So it's no wonder when you go to church and then the pastor is preaching and said that, somebody just came to me and gave me $1 million. Everybody shouts, woo, woo, but we who are not, maybe in the fivefold ministry who are, preaching on Sunday and all of that, sometimes you don't experience that and you are wondering, where is the blessing connection or where is your own connection, right? So many people think that the blessing is reserved primarily for ministers of the gospel, while business people and career professionals are left with lesser favor. Such mindset creates unnecessary limitations. Faith begins where the will of God is known. I heard that, from Kenneth Copeland. So if you are not fully convinced that God wants you to succeed in your business or, of course, in your career, you cannot truly exercise faith for that success. Too often, people view business as a mere means of survival, something necessary for putting food on the table, but lacking the nobility and purpose of full-time ministry. This perception relegates business and professional work to the material realm, stripping it of dignity, spirituality, and divine purpose. However, this is far from the truth. Scripture is replete with stories of ordinary people whom God used for greater purposes. In several instances, God bypassed ministers and priests to fulfill his agenda through entrepreneurs, traders, and skilled professionals. When we examine the lives of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, these patriarchs of faith, we see that they were regular men engaged in business, farming, trading, animal husbandry, yet they were instrumental in God's divine plan. It is therefore essential to see yourself as a key player in God's kingdom, whether you serve in full-time ministry or operate in secular field or in any area of business at all. As we take the conversation further, it is also crucial to recognize that success in business is influenced by several factors. Some of these factors are within your control, and then others are definitely out of your control. During my first week in business school, I remember very vividly the first lecture that we had. The faculty posed an interesting question to all the participants of that cohort. And the question was, what is the most critical factor in determining whether a business will succeed or not? That was the question that we faced. And the faculty provided 4 options: funding, timing, the composition of the team, and then the business idea. Of course, the class debated each possibility. And, we went back and forth. There were arguments back and forth. Some people thought it was funding. Some people thought it was timing. And some people thought it was the team. Some people thought it was the idea. For one, I always believe also that you needed, a very strong idea to be able to succeed in business. So, of course, like I said, the class debated the possibility. But when the faculty revealed the answer based on extensive research, timing emerged as the most significant factor. This means that you can have a brilliant idea, you can have the right team, and abundant financial resources. But if your business is not aligned with the right time, failure is highly likely. Now, let me say this. in looking at all these four factors that the faculty discussed, it isn't as if the rest of them scored 0, 0, 0, and then timing scored 100. That's not the case, right? It's a case of maybe I don't have the percentages, right? But take, for instance, funding can contribute like 50%, right, of the success. Maybe team can contribute like maybe 10% of the success. Maybe the idea contributes like 5% of the success. And then you have the larger percentage being timing, right? That's the idea. I just wanted to correct the notion. It's not like 0, 0, then 100 for timing. So like I said, this means that you can have a brilliant idea. The idea may be very fantastic, which I believe some of us who are sitting here today have some very brilliant ideas, right? My pastor read a book, Ideas Rule the World. So, I mean, if you have a brilliant idea, very good for you, but ideas are not good enough, right? You can have the right team, and that's good, excellent, because you need people. You always need people to succeed in any business that you do. And you can have abundant financial resources. I'm sure many of us know this. At least if you don't know any, you remember the story of the prodigal son in the Bible. He had everything and he lost everything. If your business is not aligned with time, the right timing, we said failure is highly likely. The challenge, however, is that timing is beyond human control. You cannot manufacture the right moment. You can only recognize it and position yourself to take advantage of it. Now, when we talk about timing here, we're not just talking only about chronos, right? We're talking about kairos. Sometimes there's, the right time. There's the appropriate time, right? Not just timing, in terms of a chronological time. Let me share just maybe one or two stories in regard to timing, how I think that, timing can be significant in your business. Maybe about 2 years ago, we were engaged in a conversation with a company located in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So they found our business online, and then, we began to engage. So we had presentations and, we had conversations on how we could deliver value to this particular organization. After all of the conversations we had, and then, we began to move into financials and began to negotiate, cost and all of that. Now, the business, I'm into technology, so we needed to know if the asset that they had, was compatible, or is going to be compatible with the kind of solution that we deploy, because we deploy automation solution. But, in the forefront of the conversation, we didn't know whether this asset that they had, was compatible with the kind of solution that we deployed. But we had all the preliminary conversations. And the conversations, were going on. Just before we talked about the kind of asset that they had, and I'm just saying this to emphasize how timing, can be critical to the success of any business. Just before we went into the conversation of the kind of assets that they had and whether we could do that project, another organization in Nigeria, it's a downstream company, reached out to us. If I mention the name, some of you will know it, so I'll spare the name. Reached out to us and they asked us if we could. And before this organization reached out to us, we had tried to reach out to them severally, in the past. And I think we had presentations, but as usual, they just went blank. If you're in business, you're familiar with this kind of thing. You talk to somebody and then they give you all the promises and then they just go blank on you. So they had gone blank, and then suddenly they came up and said, look, we want you guys to help us look at, if you can provide this solution to us, blah, blah. And we said, okay, no problem. Let us look at the kind of assets that you have. So we looked at the assets. I sent somebody in our team to their Abuja sites and everything. We looked at it. And then we saw that the asset that they had was an asset that we had never, come across in about the 7 or 8 years that we had been doing this particular business. So we were now trying to figure out how to solve this problem, fix this asset, maybe upgrade it, and then we can deploy the automation solution to it. you will say coincidentally, by the time the company in DRC sent us the asset that they had, it was this exact asset in Nigeria. So the question is, how did God make it such that at the time the company in DRC was reaching out to us to give us a project with asset that we had never encountered before, God also orchestrated another company in Nigeria to reach out to us with the same assets so that we could have asset to experiment with, right? And then we did the experimentation with the Nigerian company, and then we went to DRC and deployed the project. It was successful. Needless to tell you, we earn the dollars now from DRC, right? And it's a good one. So Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10, captures this truth more powerfully. It says that whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, for there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. Only God can orchestrate the right timing and opportunities for your success. Let me say that again. Only God can orchestrate the right timing and opportunities for your success. Many believe success is a matter of coincidence, but in reality, what we call coincidence is often a divinely arranged intersection of natural and spiritual forces. You may look back on missed opportunities and worry that they may never return, while it is true that the exact same opportunities may not present itself again in the same way. God always creates new opportunities. Your role is to trust Him to recognize and seize them when they appear. So what does it take to recognize and seize opportunities that come to you? I'll focus on just 3 areas. The first being the integrity of heart. The second being the skillfulness of your hands. And the third being prayers. I believe that if you get these 3 things right, you will capture, the opportunities that God bring your way, and you succeed in your own area of endeavor. Of the integrity of heart, right? You know that integrity of the heart is an emotional and spiritual or practical consistency with your purpose. In essence, integrity of heart is internalizing your purpose. That purpose becomes not just what you do, but a part of who you are. It is what people sometimes refer to as character. And I heard long ago when by Creflo Dollar says that character is doing what is right because it is right, not because of what others are doing or doing to you. If you have character, opportunities will search you out while others are searching for opportunities. So, the next thing, of course, we said is skillfulness of hands. Skillfulness of hands is about execution. It is about being great at what you do. It is not enough to simply care about your purpose and remain true to it. You must become great at executing your purpose. I don't know if you have seen people who are believers. They are very nice. They have character. But when you give them something to do, when you look at it, you just wish you never gave them to do it, right? They can be in your office. They can be in your business. They cannot execute nothing. You can't trust them with any assignment. If they are into any kind of craft like fashion or carpentry or hairdressing, if you ask if they dress a lady's hair and you look at it, you say, go and remove it. At least I remember once my wife did one hair like that, spent a lot of money. As soon as she came home, I looked at her, I said, go and remove this. She said, I spent a lot of money. I said, you'll be better off to remove this thing. And she went and removed it because there was no skillfulness of hand, right? The person may be good, right? So, but you can expect that she's never going to go back to that place again, right? No matter how that person prays. If he prays from now till tomorrow, my wife is not going to go back there again. So it's important to be skillful at what you do. And the best way, right, to become great at your craft is through practice and study. This means that you must be a lifetime learner and always seek out ways for continuous improvement. The last thing, of course, is prayers. And this is hinged on Psalm 127 verse 1. It says, unless the Lord builds a house, right, its builders labor in vain. Proverbs 21:31 says that the horse is made ready for battle, but victory is with God. On prayer is an essential ingredient in success. And this is certainly obvious. Only God, like we said, can turn the elements of time and chance in your favor to make you succeed. Some people see prayer as a burden, as a burdensome requirement of religion. Hence, they have no motivation to pray because they think that prayer is about religion. My pastor says to pray, right? And when we go to church, they say to pray. So they see and they perceive prayer as a burdensome requirement of religion. So there's no motivation, like we said. While many can testify to the efficacy of prayer, there are also others who cannot boldly tell in clear terms, that God answers prayer. And this is simply because of their personal experience of failure in the place of prayer. For nothing can be more convincing to an individual than to have a personal experience of it. If most of your experience shows that your prayers are not answered, you are in danger of being in the place of doubt as to whether God really answers prayer or not. For me, God does answer my prayer, so I pray a lot. So if prayer is ever needed you be in doubt if prayer is ever needed at all. Many even object to prayer with the thought that since God is unchangeable, there's absolutely no need to pray. Their motto is whatever we be, we be. Right? Famous man on prayer, Charles Finney, in his classic on prayer, noted that God may not answer every prayer according to its letter, but he surely will according to its spirit. The real spirit of prayer is evermore this: thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And this God will assuredly answer, because he has so abundantly promised to do this very thing in answer to prayer. We know that God truly hears prayers and he answers, but the way he responds may be different from the way you thought he did respond. I shared one time when we started out in the business that I now do, we were in an incubation, and in the course of that incubation, we also had the opportunity to pitch to investors. In 2014, the program was going to close, and our pitch deck, we were planning to raise $1.4 million. I always look back, and I thank the God of heaven for not answering the prayers and giving us $1.4 million, because I know, without any doubt, if God had given us that $1.4 million then, I will not be standing before you today. Right? It's very obvious, because as we journeyed through the process, I saw why it was important for God not to have given us that money at that time. In fact, the technology that we had built at that time, that we were going to raise that money for, we completely set aside that technology. So if God had given us $1.4 million, we would have taken that $1.4 million and would have run in the opposite direction. With full force, the strength of $1.4 million. You will be running, so fast in the opposite direction to your destiny, and you will not even know. So, truly, God responds to prayers, but his response may be different from the way you thought he would have responded. So then, we understand that the thought that whatever will be, does not hold true with God. Right? Because you have power with God, and you can come into prayer to determine what should be in your business or in your work. Like most other skills, prayer can be learned. Right? The more you pray, the more you will learn to pray, and the better your results will be in prayers. Today, we have the privilege of learning from some of the best professionals in their fields. Our distinguished faculty members, some of which are already seated. Thank you, sirs, for coming. Our individuals who have been battle tested in business and leadership. At least I know all the speakers one-on-one. And they have immense value and insights to share with all of us today. I encourage you to pay close attention, not just to what is said, but to what is implied between the lines. What you will learn here today can shape the trajectory of your business or your career. Indeed, this gathering itself is a demonstration of time and chance at work. Maybe you'll understand that many registered for this SME clinic, but because of the limited seating, we had to select just the number that we could accommodate in order not to make the place overly congested or crowded. So if you are here today, it means that this moment is truly an appointed moment for you. I'm praying and believing God that this event will mark a turning point in the journey of your business. And on this note, I want to warmly welcome every one of you to the Lagos Business Fellowship SME Clinic 2025. I trust that we will have an enriching and transforming experience together. And like the first speaker has said, we would have sessions. You have the program already. We'll have different sessions. Of course, first we'll have the keynote address, and then we'll have the session on legal and regulatory. We would have a short lunch break for 30 minutes. You have to be able to eat very fast, right, so that we can return back at 12:30, and then we'll have 2 more sessions after that. The first after the break session will be the session on business finance, and then we'll have the final session on taxes. Thereafter, we'll have a short panel discussion, right, for about an hour again, where we'll be able to take most of the question and answer. So each of our speakers will have 1 hour, to discuss with us, and in, within that time frame, they will discuss, and then probably they can take 1 or 2 questions. But if there are questions they can't take, you may reserve it for the panel session that we'll have later. Not all our speakers will be available for the panel discussion, right? But again, would trust God, for wisdom to be able to answer some questions that maybe may relate to a speaker who has left before that session. Like I said, faculty members, some of them are already here. They are distinguished, right, in their career, and I'm so sure, right, that they will be a great blessing to us today. So our first speaker, of course, is our keynote speaker, is Akin Okpatola. So I'll just read, briefly, and then we'll welcome Mr. Akin to take the stand. So if you have the booklet with you, I'm sure you can see Akin Okpatola. Don't worry about all those abbreviations. He's a seasoned executive in the real estate industry. He's a chartered surveyor and property valuer, an internationally accredited mediator and real estate coach with extensive expertise in strategic planning, market innovation, and sustainable development. He is the founder and principal partner at Olawale Jordan Company, a professional real estate brokerage and marketing firm. As the principal partner of a boutique real estate firm in Lagos, Akin has played a pivotal role in driving growth and shaping industry trends. His work focuses on adapting to market shifts, implementing advanced portfolio management strategies, and fostering sustainable real estate practices. Known for his commitment to professional excellence and deep insights into emerging opportunities. He continues to make a significant impact on the real estate landscape in Nigeria and beyond. Akin is also an international conference speaker and has held several key leadership positions in the profession. He currently serves as the vice president of the African Real Estate Practitioners Association and the chapter president for the International Real Estate Federation. Additionally, he is a member of the National Association of Realtors USA. Before establishing his real estate firm, Akin spent approximately 12 years in the nation's financial services sector, where he rose to the position of branch manager. He is an alumnus of the Federal University of Technology, Minna, and the Lagos Business School, Pan-Atlantic University, Lagos. Beyond his professional achievements, Akin is passionate about mentoring the next generation of real estate professionals, equipping them with skills and knowledge to excel in the industry. Let's welcome Mr. Akin Okpatola. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay, do we have my presentation up, please? Okay, and is there a clicker? Okay, I'll just be shouting next slide, no problem. Okay, so I'm excited to be here. I understand I'll be speaking for an hour. When Ola mentioned an hour, I was like, I want to talk for 4 hours. I really want to talk for 4 hours. But I will do my very best. But ensure you take your questions down. That's the best way. So that anything I can't share within the 1 hour, at least you'll be able to pick it from your questions. So let me start. Who was the first person to register this morning? You? So, who came before who? Okay, so you are the first person. I see. Okay. This is for you. So you and him. So, ladies and gentlemen, the world is changing, and I'm super excited that you guys are in the room. Ola did mention that over 50 people had registered. You see, what I'll try to do within the hour is to show you my trajectory. So I asked for this. So I will show you how I went from 0, setting on my real estate practice, to I think I'm about 35% now. Yeah. So I'll show you how I went from literally 0 to about 35. And I'm still looking beyond. So first things first. From my profile, you would notice that I had 2 careers. Started off in a real estate firm. I was extremely opportuned and lucky. And I say that because I had probably the best mentor. Yeah. My boss then, Joe Igbe and Associates, I spent 2.5 years with him, and that literally changed my mind. Yeah. So, and when I run you through my journey, you would notice how and why. So, spent 2 years with him before I now left for banking. Guys, we must be extremely focused. You know how a laser is? A laser, if you beam a laser to that wall, it will give you the exact line of sight, no variation. Any one of you here that still doesn't have the right focus, then I'm sorry. I am really, really sorry. You see, for me, immediately I got in touch with my boss then, Joe Igbe. My focus has been like this. Cha. I don't look left. I don't look right. To me, the man was my superhero, and he was amazing. So you see, for me, nothing changes me. I have about 15 mentors. Joe Igbe being 1, Elon Musk being 2. I like Elon Musk for for so many things. There's some things I dislike about him. But one of the things I like about Elon Musk is 19 years ago, Elon Musk said, wouldn't it be nice to take people to Mars, take people to the moon, take the VIPs, ultra wealthy, round the world and bring them back? He was laughed at. The guy remained focused. 22 years ago, the same Elon Musk said, hey, wait a minute. The idea of electric car, it no go bad though. They laughed at him. Guys, fast forward a few years. South African born, world's richest man. That is the kind of focus I have. That is the kind of focus you guys must have. 2 years ago, I was opportune to meet a young, fantastic man called Sean Killer. Sean Killer is about my age, 46. Also South African. But you see, Sean Killer did a presentation in Miami while I was there. I went to meet him, shared a couple of conversations. He blew my mind. He had a young, small, thriving architectural firm. Himself and 7 guys based out of Cape Town. Sean Killer now, if you Google Museum of the Future in Dubai, built with about 175 million US. If you want to Google top 30 most visited buildings in the world, Sean Killer, young, about my age, based out of Cape Town, small architectural firm. His portfolio of the type of buildings he designs, most of them are around the UAE, is over $1 billion. So it is not whether you are an American or you are born with a silver spoon. No. There are some core principles and values, guys. If you follow it, you will find yourself here and beyond. And I'll be showing you how. So for me, I'm an avid reader. If you guys don't read, then I am sorry. You are in the wrong room. I average 2 books a month. Because me and social media, I don't like distractions. So what I do, you see, I run a very successful real estate practice. I have a clear vision, clear mission, and my core values. I totally understand it. Nothing will change it. So the successful real estate practice that I have, it is me and 3.5 staff. That is it. And I say 3.5 because we usually have an intern, somebody doing NYSC. That is it. But we run amazing deals and transactions. When I say I'm zero in social media, back in the days, I used to call it, so I've never been on Facebook. The only social media that I do is WhatsApp. That is it. I used to call it Instagram. My wife corrected me. She has corrected me like a million. Oga, it's not Instagram. It's Instagram. So when I usually employ and take in young talents that are also very active in social media. So that where I'm deficient, they can be stronger there. Because we know our customers play on social media. But for me, I want to do 4 books a month. And social media will distract me. I want to keep the focus up. So I look at people like Dangote, and I'm extremely impressed. People like Otedola. Those are the people that I look up to. I've never met them. But I try to also follow their trajectory. You see, guys, there's a difference between a business person and an entrepreneur. Do you guys take risks? Do you innovate? For me, my practice is about 10 years. I'm already looking for somebody that will take that seat amongst my colleagues in the office. For me, I have seen horrible real estate businesses go down, and I have seen amazing ones. I am following the footsteps with clear focus on those real estate practices that will live beyond me. You see, for me now, I do a lot of speaking engagements within the country and outside. And there are so many things that I want to do with my own time. So I said, I think you've mentored these your colleagues long enough. My oldest staff, Jonathan, has spent close to 3 years. There's a real estate business school that I've been teaching in Ikeja and on the island for about 10 years. So, of course, the people that work with me, they have that opportunity. I train them, I mentor them. Everything I know, guys, they know. So what's the point? I'm hardly in the office. I'm doing one speaking engagement, one meeting, one training or the other. January till date, I'm sure I've done close to 20. Close to 20. So it's these guys, they're taking over. They are young, they are smart, and they are looking for leadership positions. So why won't I give it to them? So that I can go and do other things. Do you know how many businesses somebody like Elon Musk has? So I'm thinking beyond. And when I say I have a very clear focus, you see, I don't want to grow beyond my 3.5 staff. Because I have a unique model, and I'll share it with you real quick. So my unique model is this. We have an amazing network, and you'll see by the time I go to my presentation. I am big on networking. Guys, another very critical take-home. No matter how good I am, if nobody knows, it's for my pocket. I use 70% of my time, I repeat, 70% of my time networking. So when I tell you that I don't go to the office, I consider myself a digital nomad. If you want to see me, most times I am here, or Radisson Blu, or Marriott, or Radisson on the island, or Eco Hotel. I'm there, I open my laptop, I'm with my mobile phone, I'm making money, I'm making calls. That's it. My clients, my business is out there. I hardly go to the office. Let me put it this way. I network like a crazy person. You know the biggest size of Ghana must go? I have it at home, filled with business cards. To the brim. You can see my afro, I'm old school. I will collect it. It helps me generate business, guys. Learned it from Joe Aigbe, my boss. So when business is dull in the office, what he does, he will just flip through. Dip his hand inside, bring it out. Hello, is this Bingpe Ajumobi? Yes. Okay, are you still with FCMB? She said, oh, no, I've left. Oh, my name is Joe Aigbe. Honestly, I can't remember where I met you. Where are you now? Oh, you're in Shell. Wow. Okay, I'm a realtor. I don't know, how can we do business together? Sometimes the people say, oh, Joe Aigbe, I met you at so place. Oh, I can't even remember. Okay, see me next week, and I can introduce you to a head of procurement, and you can register your friend for valuation, for construction, for sales, for marketing. By the time he comes through 20, 30 of those business cards, oh boy, we've generated business for the next 2-3 weeks, guys. I have a rule of thumb I use in the office and I share with my colleagues too. Complimentary card is not decoration. It's not lapel pin. 100 business cards, I must finish it in 1 month. I asked Ola, That how many people will be in the room? He said 50. I brought 55 business cards. So I want to get business. I want to know you guys more. I network like a crazy person. And I have a run rate. So if I start the month with 100 and I move to the next month, I will count. I am that intentional and deliberate because I want to succeed. So I will count. I say, oh, wow, you have 20 remaining. This is not good enough. So what that means is that the month, if it is April, I must push out 120. So a lot of people know me, even though I am zero in social media. Because no matter how good you are, if people don't know, it's for your pocket. The guy is a good real estate surveyor. Who knows? Who cares? So I'm always out there looking for business, looking for those opportunities, as Ola has said. So that's a mini intro. Let's have the first slide, please. I belong to close to 35 professional associations. When I tell you that I read books, guys, maybe 15, maybe 20% of the books I read are real estate related. Strategy, leadership, networking, management, marketing. Who is your customer? Those are the kind of books I read. Then I can now relate it to real estate. So, because of space, I just put this few. You see, when I say I'm deliberate about networking, most times I put myself in rooms where my colleagues will not be there. So if I'm going through Business Day or The Guardian, if I see an architectural conference in, let's say, a hotel or 4 Points, 30K to register, I will pay and be in that room. Architecture. Oil and gas. Last year I was in almost 5 or 6 oil and gas conferences. So I will be in the midst of oil and gas players. So during coffee break, they'll say, oh, which oil and gas firm do you work for? Oil and gas? No, I'm a real estate. Real estate, do not look at me again. Look at the afro, look at the suit. It's all deliberate. What are you doing here? I say, I came to network. I came to meet you. You, where do you work? Seplat. Give me your card. We can do business. I can advise you on real estate investment. Collect his card. Give him my own. So you will not see me in real estate. Hardly. No. Next slide. Guys, success begins with challenges, not comfort zones. And that is why, let me share with you how I started off. So my plan was to do